This video is going over the topic 3, get ready. So here we go. I believe it's on page 135. Here is the vocabulary filled in. A percent is a ratio in which the first term is compared to 100, meaning like 7 to 100 is really just 7%. A ratio that relates to quantities with different units of measure is called a rate. A statement that two ratios are equal is called a proportion. And finally, if you have a relationship 3 out of 5 students, that's an example of a ratio. More specifically, that's a part to whole ratio, and we call part to whole ratios fractions. So now that we went over that part, let's spend a little more time here in numbers 5 through 7, which I think are the most important. So it's important to know that every number can be written in 3 different forms: a fraction, decimal, and a percent. So so a number like 0.29 can have as a fraction form, and also has a percent form in addition to its decimal form. So 0.29 is really read as 29 hundredths. So we read that as, that's the correct way to read it. It's 29 hundredths because it's 29 over 100. Notice how there's 2 numbers past the decimal and there's 2 zeros in the denominator. So 29 hundredths. Well, 2900 can be read as 29 out of 100, which means 29%. So see, it's very simple to take a number like this, a decimal, and to convert it into a fraction and into a percent. So what happens when we have a percent? Well, that's pretty easy too, because 35%, if I say 35%, it kind of sounds like 35 cents. That's the same thing as like 35 cents. Or 35% is really 35 out of 100. Because I just take the number in front of the percent and put it over 100. Well, 35 over 100 is really 35 hundredths, and that's 35 hundredths right here. So those are pretty easy. It gets a little trickier when you have a simplified fraction like 2/5, because it's not out of 100. So one option we have is to scale it up to see, well, what would it be out of 100? So I can use a scale factor, like 5 times what is 100, 5 times 20. Whatever I do the bottom, I do the top. So 2 times 20, and I get 40 out of 100. So that makes it 40 out of 100, which is 40 hundredths, which is 40%. Because 40 out of 100 is 40%. The other option is to take 2/5 and divide. 2 divided by 5, and you get the decimal 0.4, which is 4/10. But you're like, well, I thought before it was 40 hundredths. Well, 40 hundredths and 4/10 are the same thing, because I can add as many zeros behind the number as I want. So now it's 40 hundredths, which is 40%. So that's the other option. So let's look at number 10. I'm jumping to number 10. A cooking magazine shows a photo of a main dish on the front cover, 5, so it uses the main dish 5 for every 12 issues published. So it says, then how many times will the main picture be the main dish in the next 5 years? Well, this rate is the same each year. So there's 12 issues a year because there's 12 months in a year. And so this is going to go on for 5 years. Well, we have to scale this up. That means the scale factor is 5, because it's going to happen 5 times. So that would give you a total of 60 issues. But of those 60 issues, how many will have the main dish as the front cover? I need to multiply the numerator by 5 also. And I get 25 times. 25 times will the main dish be the front cover. So that's proportion. They gave us the scale factor. Let's look, though, at number 8 here. In number 8, it's very different than what we're used to, because the thing we're trying to find, the thing we don't know, is on the left. Well, we can go this way. Our arrows can go in a different direction. 1 times 4 is 4. So whatever I do the bottom, I do the top. So I'm going to do 365.4 times 4, and that's going to give you your answer. Same thing goes over here. You're working this way. Good luck. Thanks.